to another installment of the Caper All Decade Team Series, our last in our series of four here, and certainly not last but not least, it's the Caper men's soccer program, who's really had quite a decade. And here to talk a little bit about it and to unveil his team is, of course, no stranger to soccer fans of the Capers, head coach Dino Morley. Thanks for doing this, Dino. And as we were talking about before we started, a little bit about the process of coming up with this team. You have I guess your bench crew and honorable subs segment, and then your starting lineup. You had certainly a lot of great student athletes to choose from. How'd you go about it?
Yeah, Happy New Year, Cory. Thanks for this. Yeah, it's certainly an exciting process. It was quite a daunting task, actually. Myself and the coaching staff had quite a lot of discussion and debate with this. We essentially have had a great decade. We've won a number of AUS titles, as you know, and a number of national medals as well. And there was a team in 2012 that won the national silver medal, and other great accolades. And then also the team that went on to have success over the last 4 years as well. So many great players. The way that we really looked at this was everything we do in our program isn't around individual accolades. It's not about what you achieve individually. It's about what you bring to a team process and your work ethic, how you get better, how you improve what you bring to the team, and just overall the person you are in the classroom, the community, and on the field. So I feel good about the selections we've made. It wasn't easy, but I know that every one of the players that have been a part of this program, in building the program, and in contributing to this program, you know, everyone feels proud about being a Caper. I still feel very proud about being a player and the teammates that I had around me. So it never leaves you, and I know everyone will be happy for everyone who gets this mention.
So let's get into it. And you, as I said, you have a pardon me, an eight-player honorable subs, you've called them, and then we'll get into the starters. We'll start with the honorable subs, and no particular order, and we'll start with Marcus Campanelli.
Yeah, hard to leave Marcus out of the lineup. Hard to leave a lot of players out of the lineup. Marcus, tremendous player, came to us after a short stint in the US where he'd had some challenges and came to us. And right away in the first year, you could see his character, you could see his hunger, and you could just see the potential in him. Great background, great footballer, loved his personality. What I love about Marcus is that there's no prisoners. He brings it to every training session, and any new player that joins us, they're going to have to go through a good old Marcus Campanile tackle to see if they make the cut. And he holds everyone to standards. He was a beast, and you know, just this last year going into the national championships, tore his groin and played through. You know, on one leg. He's a warrior. He's a beast. The only thing I can say, I'm just disappointed he's not right now in the CPL, because I think he would have had a massive impact for Valor FC in the CPL. It was a big miss on their end, and hopefully that gets rectified as we go forward. Great player.
Next of our honorable subs, Justin Mayhew.
Yeah, Justin, he was with the program. I didn't recruit Justin. He was with the program when I became the head coach, along with Scott and Vernon. And he was used before we came into the program mainly as a winger. When we came in, we looked at his skill set, and I loved the way he moved off the ball, his hunger to get in behind defenders, and we built that confidence in him as a natural finisher. You know, get in behind, finish, you can hurt people. Great strength, great pace, unbelievable determination, and he had that, and he did that, and I mean, he won National Player of the Year, so he certainly got some honors there. Unfortunately, came up short in a couple of you know, AUS final championships, but yeah, good player, unbelievable potential, probably the most blessed striker, raw potential that I've seen in a while, and yeah, good lad too.
Daniel Pritchard.
Yeah, Danny will be wanting to have been in the team for sure. He's such a competitive young man, probably the most competitive young man I've worked with. He'd argue with you that the sky's blue or black when it's day or night. He's just very competitive. Love working with Daniel. His spirit, his work ethic. Uh, his commitment on the field was unquestionable. He probably, no, without doubt, the best right back we've ever had in the program, and we had some other good right backs, but certainly the best right back we've ever had in the program. But when we made the team, I didn't really do it. We went into a back three and that stuff, so I didn't really do it as a right back, left back, and those pieces. But Danny knows he's a brilliant player. Brilliant right back, and the way he got up and down and contributed was amazing. So yeah, I love working with Danny, miss Danny, and wish him well.
Shane Hollis.
Yeah, what an exciting player Shane was. Man, flying down that left wing, just causing headaches to our position. Infectious personality, laugh, smile, character off the field. Yeah, he was just brilliant to watch. I loved him as a footballer. We've always been a program that likes to get the ball wide and let wingers go one-on-one. And man, that boy loved to go one-on-one. And yeah, he was always a threat. Great player.
Stuart Heath.
Stuart Heath, yes, my first ever signing as a head coach, Stuart Heath. And I remember the first conversation with him was that I wanted to sign somebody to come in here and help me change the culture and build a program. I needed a leader. And from my first conversation with Stuart, I knew that was him. Just tremendous general in the dressing room and on the field. Would go to war with you in a heartbeat. I mean, he'd never back away from anything. And that was the character that took us to win a national title. Signed him as a defender, won a national championship for us playing center forward, got on the end of everything. His timing in the box was just brilliant. But just this natural passion for winning. And Stuart Heath, no matter what he goes on to in life, he's going to be a winner. And he's someone that I'll always hold close to this program. Yeah, he did what we brought him in to do. It was lead this program. He did it in his own way. Yeah, he drove me nuts at times. He'll tell you that. But yeah, brilliant man, and loved having him in the program.
Silvano Rauch.
Yeah, probably one of the most underrated ever caper players. He certainly didn't get the individual accolades he deserved. Just an absolute stellar holding midfield player. Always available to get on the ball. Broke up play well. You know, he very easily could have been in the side, but we went with Jack Simpson. Obviously, we'll talk about that later. But Silvano, brilliant player. He had two other lads around him at the time, other lads around him. Andrew Rigby and Massey was a couple of lads. I always said they got to play in their freedom and get to do what they did because they had Silvano. He looked after the back four and he allowed the other lads in midfield to go roaming. It's a hard skill set to find. So yeah, I rate Silvano really highly.
Kalen Badu.
Kalen, probably up there with one of the best technical, skilled players we've had in the program. Unbelievable 1v1 ability. Can keep the ball in tight spaces under pressure. And that was what he did from the moment he joined the program. And then he developed his passing. He developed being able to play quicker because he needed too many touches early. Became much more proficient. He's scored more goals, set up more goals. Yeah, it was funny. We used to go back afterwards and watch the goals we scored. He was often somewhere in the middle of all of it, either winning the ball back, creating it, passing it. He was always involved in the positive stuff that happened in our team. And the other thing I'd say about him was the demands we put on him defensively was incredible. If we were playing against the side with a real good holding midfield player, then it was Kalen's job not to let him touch the ball. So we wore him out defensively. And then when we had the ball, I don't know where he got the energy from, but then he was all over it again. So yeah, really great competitor. Loved watching him play, and probably one of the nicest people we've ever had in Cape Breton University. A genuinely nice lad, unbelievably great at school, brilliant results in his academics. Just nice person, and yeah, I'll always remember Kalen around this program.
And rounding out our honorable subs, Andrew Murphy.
Yeah, what an amazing goalkeeper. I mean, it's a coin toss between who we put in. Andrew Murphy won the national silver medal, and Ben Jackson won the national gold medal. So you can argue that that plays into it as well. But I'll talk about Ben a little later. But Andrew was just a brilliantly gifted goalkeeper. Massive in the air, dealt with all the crosses, physical beast, unbelievable shot stopper, great communicator, good with his feet. And then off the field, I mean, what a smile, what a person. Like, you know, he's a guy that everyone wants to be around. He's fun, he's infectious, he's a character. He never took anything too serious. He never got too stressed about anything. Yeah, just a lovely lad. Really liked Andrew, and a brilliant goalkeeper.
So just to recap our honorable subs for the Caper men's soccer all-decade team: Marcus Campanelli, Justin Mayhew, Daniel Pritchard, Shane Hollis, Stuart Heath, Silvano, Rauch, Kalen Badu, and Andrew Murphy. So now we'll move on to the starting 11, and this is just by looking at the names, this would be a group you'd take into any match, Dino. And we'll start in the back, and we touched on them a little bit during the conversation so far. Um, the gold medal winning Ben Jackson.
Yeah, he'll always be remembered for the iconic save in the penalty shootout. A big dive to his left, and the big right hand comes up and makes the beautiful save. What people don't see behind the scenes is he's been a four-time academic All-Canadian, high 90s, mid to high 90s grades all the time. Stellar guy in the community, in the classroom, and then, of course, on the field. I'd say the reason that we went with Ben is because, you know, Andrew Murphy arrived in the program. He was a brilliant goalkeeper, and stayed a brilliant goalkeeper. Ben Jackson came in, and you know, his first year didn't go so well, and that was a real test of character for him. And then his second year comes back, which was 2017, and he's changed his body. He's worked so hard in the off season. He's come back, massive shoulders, big arms, strong core. You can tell that he's ready to take us somewhere. At the same time, our backup goalkeeper broke his leg. So another thing people don't know is in the year of 2017, when we went undefeated the whole year and won the national title, we only have one goalkeeper. And so anybody that works with goalkeepers and works in this game of football knows how incredibly hard it is for a guy to be self-motivated, you know, in goal. Nobody pushing him, no one challenging him. He had to hold himself to those high standards and continue to train and push on and be the best he could be. And he didn't just do that. He just, you know, got better and better. So fantastic player, reached his potential. Absolute monster in goal, brilliant in practice, loved him in the dressing room. He was our DJ for a few years there, him and Cory Bent. So we had to put up with his music for a little bit. But no, good guy, good guy. Very proud of him. And, you know, he's back home doing a work placement now in England and doing incredible things. So.
Sandro Rauch.
Sandro, you know, he'll love that he's in the all-decade team, and his brother got an honorable mention. There'll be a bit of banter there. Silvano will probably be firing me a few texts. But Sandro, for me, is one of the all-time best centre-backs that I've ever seen play at CIS or U Sport level. And Sandro, you know, at the time of where we was with the program, you know, he could help us more in midfield. So he played, you know, central midfield for us, did an amazing job, great technician, unbelievable mind for the game, high level of composure under pressure. made the game look very easy a lot of the times when it wasn't. I remember we went up and played York at Nationals, and he bossed the game, even though we lost that game. He just managed a way to always find a way to boss the game. Maybe didn't have quite the quality around him that we have in the squad now. So, man, would I ever love to have him in the mix of the teams that we have now. But for me, he wasn't a midfielder. He was a centre back. When he had the whole game in front of him and he could control it, he read it brilliantly, great in the air, unbelievable timing on tackles, and as a football brain up there with the best we've had. So what a shame that the CPL wasn't in place when Sandro was finishing up, because he would have slotted into any of these CPL sides as a centre back. And done very well. But he got to go to the FISU games, represent Canada, and then he got to play for Canada indoor team. So, I mean, Sandro, excellent pedigree, an amazing person, natural born leader, and I'm still in touch with him all the time because he's just a great all-around person. Expecting his first child this year, just got married last year. So it's lovely to watch these lads grow up.
Peter Shaw.
Peter who? I don't know this guy. He gets no press. Yeah, Peter, our big friendly giant until he steps on the field. An absolute beast of a defender. He seamlessly stepped into our training camp when he first arrived. I remember going around the Cabot Trail and we landed on the beach up in Inverness Way. And he says, we're going to play a game of American football, Gaffer. I said, that sounds good. And then after about his first 4 tackles where he nearly cost us about 6 players, I stopped the game. I said, okay, like he's going to hurt someone. He's just such a kid in a man's body, and, you know, a pleasure to be around, wanted to win, wanted to do well. And when he got the taste of it, you know, that first year he played and we didn't win the national title. We lost in the national semifinal. He took a red card. He came back in 2017. He just told me, Gaffer, we're winning nationals this year. We're going all the way. And he was there the whole way through. I remember we needed the goal to tie Montreal to get us the penalties, and, you know, gave him the green light to go and play up top. We said everything goes long, and there he is in the mix of it. I think it was he flicked it on and Max scored the goal to get us in. Whatever we needed, whenever we needed it, Peter was there. He's obviously developed his game as a centre back. You know, he's another player that came in, wanted to play midfield, and just putting the brakes on him, saying, no, we're going to develop you as a centre back. Trust us, trust the process. And now he's, you know, captain of Halifax Wanderers in the Canadian Premier League. So I think the best thing I can say about Peter is just when you watch him, when you're around him off the field and you see him interacting with the kids and you see him around people and you see him giving back, he is just a genuine, nice person. And like I said, until you step on the field, and then he's a warrior. Can't wait to watch him this year in the CPL. And, you know, we've been very fortunate enough to have Peter in the program.
Ewan Ball.
Ewan, you know, I can't wait to have him back. He's back in 2021. He'll be our captain. I don't say this lightly. He's the most natural leader we've ever had in the program. He's got something special about him, this special ingredient to lead people. And it's going to serve him well in life, and it's serving our program greatly. I was very worried about the loss of this year's schedule because there's going to be a big gap in the dressing room. But having Ewan back, I just know it ensures that the culture and the standards and the philosophy around what we do and how we do it will be in place, because he leads by example. Now, he's a player that's had some injury setbacks the last couple of years through the AUS schedule, which has hurt him, because he really should be known in Canada as one of the best centre backs that's ever played the game at this level. Unbelievable mind for reading the game, tough competitor, hard tackler, but he has made Peter Shell look very good. And I know Peter loved playing next to him. just because he's intelligent. And on top of that, the way he communicates, his communication skills and the way he gets guys in the right positions and rivals them up and holds them accountable, steps in when he needs to step in, step back when he needs to step back. He's just the lad that you dream of coaching. And very fortunate to have him coming back. But the AUS is very fortunate to have a player like you involved in it. And I think 2021 is going to be a massive year for him. And I expect to see his name as one of the top draft picks going into next year's CPL.
Jack Simpson.
Jackie Simpson. Yes. I had an amazing relationship with Jack over these last number of years. But I think I always drove him crazy because I always, compared him to another player we had in who I thought was tremendous, or we all thought was tremendous, was Robson Doolan. And he was with us, but had to leave after a year because of some issues, health issues with his family. And then we had Jack come in. So I'm always telling Jack, well, this is how Robson would have done it, or this is what Robbo would have done. I think I drove him nuts for quite a while with that. Jack is just infectious, man. His engine, his competitiveness, his drive, what he brings to the field. I mean, he's literally the first name on the team sheet anytime I pick up a team sheet. Yeah, he covers so much ground on the field. He allows the fullbacks to push on because if the ball gets nicked and it comes back, he's out there covering it. He allows the two center mids, which have been Campo and Kalen, to go and play and express themselves because they know he's going to look after the two center backs. And the two things that I always think is so incredibly important for this role is one, always being able to get on the ball and having your head on the swivel. He does that well. But the second thing that he does that better than maybe anyone else I've ever coached is track runs off his shoulder. So, a lot of midfielders, if a ball gets knocked out wide and there's an attacking midfielder running in behind our centre backs, a lot of the time they just get in because it's hard to track runs. Jack tracks so many runs off the ball. It's incredible. And if Peter Shell steps in and misses a tackle, Jack's in behind him out of nowhere. And if Campo's gone in and to miss something, Jack's there. If Lewis is up the field, Jack's there. Sometimes you feel like there's 5 or 6 Jacks on the field. But, he because of the job he does, he doesn't necessarily get those individual accolades, and he's not the star, the standout. He's just the most important role player that maybe, I've ever worked with. So I don't know if we're going to get him back in 2021. I keep calling him. So Jack, if you're watching, you've got my number. I'd like to have you back. So, but he may be moving on in his professional life. He has a job out in Calgary now, finishing his studies and working at the same time, and playing football out at Calgary Foothills. So doing great, a real pleasure to have him. But yeah, just I'm going to miss putting his name on the team sheet.
Jason Massey.
Jason Massey. Jason played at a very high level, played at Rio Grande University down in the States before he came here. Robbie Chesson recruited Jason's players. What I can say about Jason is just his engine. I mean, what an engine on that man. All over the field. He must have put in 14 to 15K every single game he played. Played with passion, played with drive, closed people down so quickly, won the ball so quickly, drove forward so well, great range of passing, both feet. I mean, he was a brilliant football player. And I was broken for that group when they didn't win that national title in 2012 because did they ever deserve it? And the goal we lost on was a freak clip on a free kick, and other than that, it was a very tight game. But those boys deserved it. Jason Massey was a driving force of that team, character off the field. I mean, one of the biggest characters we've ever had off the field. So he's doing tremendous things now. He's in Toronto, runs a football club there, works in a football club there, developing players, developing coaches. Great for the game in Canada. And they're the success stories that you love, is how international players that have come over improved the game at the youth sport level, and then have gone on to continue to improve the game in Canada. And he's one of those stories doing great things. So yeah, great guy.
Charlie Waters.
Charlie Waters. What can I say about Charlie Waters? He's a professional football player. Never gives the ball away. Always makes the right decision. Has tremendous vision. He picks up the ball. He already knows where it's going. Um, he's not blessed with pace, but he doesn't need to be because he's just such a great technician. His involvement in his winning the national gold medal and then the subsequent other medals is massive. But what people haven't seen or don't see enough yet is what a finisher this boy is. I mean, he is a natural number 9, great finisher, can turn on a swivel, hit the ball with both feet. Dangerous player in and around the box. I remember the goal he scored down at St. X, where I think they tried to knock the ball out into Dan Hayfield's feet, and he stepped in and nicked it, took one touch out of his feet and drove it in the top corner from 28, 29 yards out, bang, bullet. I see that all the time in the lads. So yeah, he is a special player. When he gets the opportunity at the next level, which will happen, he's going to make some big noise. So very good player. Could not leave him out. I hope to have him back in 2021 just so Canada gets to watch him play football at this level again before he jumps onto the next level, because he's brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Andrew Rigby.
Andrew Rigby, I can quite clearly state the best football player that ever played at CBU. And, his personal accolades will probably show that. Anyone that watched this lad play the game would probably agree with me. I'm sure any teammate that ever played with him would agree with me. Unbelievable composure. I mean, what a midfield player he was. How he never played the game at the highest level in the highest league in England, I'll never know. I think he was a big miss, but tremendous player, composure, ability on the ball, turned on a swivel. He was only a little lad, but so strong. You couldn't knock him off the ball. Dominated games, controlled the pace of the game, which is just a gift in itself. Was dangerous in every sense imaginable. Again, against St. X, it's funny. It always, my memory seems to be St. X, but I remember, the goal he banged in up at the Capers Stadium in 2012 to get us to the AUS finals. 1-0 winner over St. X, bang, top corner from distance too. Always showed up in the big games. And again, like I talked about Massey with his engine, Rigby played next to him and his engine was just as impeccable. So the two of them just had this innate ability to play off each other, move off each other, both so intelligent. Without doubt, the best midfield pairing that I've ever watched play. So just a great guy off the field. Just what a lovely lad. Just so nice, so humble. I'm telling you, he's the best football player I've seen, and he doesn't care. He's just so humble. It wasn't about that for him. He just had this joy of playing, loved being around the lads off the field. They had a great time, that group of guys off the field, and they're still such good friends. Greg Whiten, who was from Nottingham, knew him from a lad. Got married in the Dominican Republic. It was lovely to see all the lads over there at his wedding. I couldn't make it, but my mom was there, and so it was nice. She was telling me how she's met these guys, and that was awesome. So Andrew Rigby, lovely lad, amazing player. Yeah, I'd love another 11 of him.
Cory Bent.
Yeah, Cory, just electrifying player. I think he's so recent that everyone knows his story. Came in and he's won 4 AUS titles, 3 national medals, every individual award possible. Tremendous in the classroom, academic or Canadian. Has gone on now and playing professional football. So a brilliant story. So happy for him. so nice. His smile, you know, you see that smile. I can't wait for the Halifax Wanderers grounds to be packed. He's going to bang one in the back of the net, and then they're going to see the raw joy and emotion and passion that's just inside this lad. He plays at such a high level of intensity. I mean, when he's in game mode, you know, there's no talking to him. He's in game mode. He's just playing with such adrenaline and on edge. The big games is where I say big players make the name. He shows up in big games. And when you need more, he somehow goes to a deep, deep place and gives more. I remember the 2016 up at UMB when we won the AUS title. I think it was against St. X again. I think it went into
a common thread.
Yeah, it went into overtime. You know, I don't know how it got to overtime. We should have probably been about 7-0 up, but it did. And Cory had been up and down the sidelines the whole game. I mean, he works defensively as hard as he works going forward. And you're looking at him, you're saying, man, this lad can't give any more. Like we're gonna have to find a sub. He can't give any more. And you go into the extra time, he says, you know, I got this, gaffer, and off he goes, just next level. Runs harder, runs faster, beats players, scored 2 goals within about 6 minutes, and you know, we go on to win the game. But tremendous player. I mean, you look at some of these players that are going to believe in our program, and as a coach, you say, how do you replace these people? Not just players, but these just great people. And he was a great person, great in the dressing room, great in every sense. So I love the lad. I'm so happy for him. So proud of what he's doing, and I think his journey's just beginning.
Ian Greedy.
Yeah, we're at the front 2 now, are we?
Yes.
So we're at good. Yeah, what a pairing this was. So you could not have this pairing, not in the all-decade team. It was incredible. Ian Greedy, you know, Nova Scotia lad, amazing talent. Right foot, left foot, bombs. This guy could just finish. Strong, could hold up the ball well, could link up well, got in the box well. Loved to finish, could take people on. I mean, I still say, like, you know, he had all the ingredients to be a top class professional player, and probably just timing wise again with the CPL. Where could his career have gone? Because he was a gem. But yeah, love working with Ian, loved his family, a great friendship with his mom and dad as well, who were massive supporters to the program, especially lads that were from away. I mean, they would send care packages and meet them on the road and look after them and have them in for meals, and just great people. But Ian Greedy and the way he linked up with Kashen Bean, who we're going to talk about next, I'm sure, unreal. What a joy to watch those two play football.
And you gave the teaser, Keishan Bean, our final of the starting 11 for this all-decade team, and you've been touching on quite a combination he made with Rigby.
What a combination. Actually, you just used the word teaser. What a teaser it is for me knowing he's got another year of eligibility. And I tried all the time to get him back. He's a father. He's a business owner. He's doing excellent stuff in Bermuda, and I love seeing all what he's doing. Tremendous finisher. Oh, man, just strong, fast, natural, composed. He was a man amongst boys. He was literally a man amongst boys. I don't know what more to say. I would sign Kashem Bean any day of the week. If you told me tomorrow I'm bringing him in. He was the best striker that we've ever had in the program. Hands down, best striker we ever had in the program. And a Bermuda national team player. He was great off the field. The guys wanted to be with him. The guys wanted to be around him. The girls wanted to be with him. He was that sort of guy. Yeah, pleasure to work with. Pleasure to watch play football. The goals he scored were just breathtaking, out of anywhere at any time. When he wanted to turn it on, he just flipped a switch and turned it on, and you could not defend him. You could not play with him. I could still play a little bit back then when I was the
Yeah.
assistant coach, and I got to play on a few of the games. Like we'd play the starters against the others, and sometimes Keish would go on the other team to give the back four a real hard time, and I'd play in the middle. And it was just an easy job. You just looked up and his movement told you where to put the ball, and then it's in the back of the net. And that is just a sign of an amazing striker that you just dream of playing with as a midfielder. He was that guy, and well deserves to be in this team.
So just to recap our starting 11 for the Caper men's soccer team, all decade team: Ben Jackson, Sandro Rauch, Peter Schall, Ewan Bald, Jack Simpson, Jason Massey, Charlie Waters, Rigby, Cory Bent, Ian Greedy, and Keishan Dean. That's as we said before, Dino. That's an 11 you would definitely take in the NEAUS or U Sports matchup.
11. You give me that 11 and the subs that we talked about. We're not losing a game in the CPL. Never mind U Sports, and that's an amazing, talented bunch. Yeah, you'd lick your lips to have the chance to work with that group.
This is a process that brings back memories not only of team achievements, and you've had lots of those over the decades, and individual achievements, but a common thread throughout, and you touched on so much, is what these student athletes have brought to the program, and have continued on and really made successes of themselves, not only in the sport, but in life.
No, absolutely. Most of my memories of the people we've just talked about is seeing them in the gyms of schools, working with kids, seeing them working with Soccer Cape Breton, seeing them around my daughter as she's growing up, seeing them at the stadium, meeting kids before in the dressing room and in the dome, working with Special Olympics. I mean, most of my memories of these players that we've just reviewed as players are my memories are of the people. You know, the quality of these people that it's just, I always say it is one of the luckiest people in the world to be in the job I'm in and work with these sort of people that I get to work with. These young men that just inspire me and inspire the coaching staff. They're tremendous to Cape Breton community. And they just make us a better place, and they're just great people. So that's what I remember. I remember them as people. I can't wait to see all what they achieve in life as leaders, because that's what they've left our program as leaders, and that's the exciting part.